Road Dog Trucking Radio's Road Dog Live with host K.C. Phillips.
We are back. Hey, welcome back into Road Dog Live. This is the Wednesday Out of Route edition. I'm Casey, hanging out with you, and we are very honored to have guests joining us today. And Jeremy Kellett with Oakley Trucking is joining us. Jeremy, what's up, my man?
Hey, man, nothing. What's going on with you, KC?
I'm just chilling out. I'm in Louisville today, as a matter of fact, man.
In Louisville. I was listening to that just a second ago about your little problem you had in Louisville with the run-in with the law.
I've had many a run-in with the law in Louisville. I don't like to talk about it, but I've been I guess I came out unscathed because typically it was all traffic stuff.
When we were there in Louisville at a truck show one year, it reminded me when you said you ran over this hump thing. Well, we were in a rental car, and my buddy recruiter Dustin Eagle was driving the car, and evidently we went the wrong way on a one-way street or a entrance there, and it just started dragging the bottom of the car. I mean, it was a low-riding car. Yeah, he just gassed it and kept going. I mean, it didn't puncture any tires or anything, but we come out of it alive, and I don't think the rental people knew a thing.
Yeah, catalytic converter was the worst for wear on that one.
Maybe so. What's going on?
Shoot. How many people were in that car, Jeremy? Why was it riding so low?
Well, that could have been part of the problem, too. There's 3 or 4 of us.
You guys have a couple of White Castles or something?
A few of us in there.
There you go. Yeah, man. Well, you mentioned the Mid-America Truck Show. You know that in 2022 they are launching that sucker in March. Did you hear?
No, I did not. I was wondering if they were going to. That's going to be huge.
I think it's probably going to be like a coming out, and it's going to be amazing. I can't wait for it. Do you think that you guys might have a presence there?
Oh yeah, we'll be there. Yeah, if it's
awesome.
happening in March, we'll be there. Oakley Trucking will be there for sure.
Well, fantastic. Well, we'll have to go out and get a sack of 10 White Castles while you're in town.
We will have to do something. I'll be glad to.
There you go, man. Well, it's great to have you on the show. Always fun to talk with you and hear about the good things you guys got going on. Folks, Jeremy is willing to take your phone calls if you got some questions, if you want to ask about opportunities that are available, if you have questions about regions, the truck purchase process, what type of loads are hauling, freight levels, those types of things. Jeremy's happy to answer those calls. 888-876-2336, 8888 Road Dog. Give me a little bit of rundown of what's going on under the roof at Oakley.
Couple of big things happening, KC. One, we all got moved to the new office. That's been an ongoing deal because about half of us got moved over to it. COVID hit. We all kind of, stayed separated in the old office, which is just across the parking lot, but it made things inconvenient. Well, we just got in this past week, so we're all together. It's all loud. It's all happening. We want all of our drivers to come see us in this new office and come see what's going on at the place that they built. That's what we're wanting them to see. So that's happening, all back together now, mask-free, thank goodness. And also, probably the big note, effective May 3rd, we gave another raise to our owner-operators. So we went up 5 cents on all the loaded miles, and then we went up 5 cents on that anniversary bonus that I know you like so much on that you get once a year on that anniversary bonus. So that's, instead of that starting out at 5 cents a loaded mile, it starts out at 10 cents a loaded mile on your first year, and then it goes up a penny every year for as long as you're here. There is no end to it, no cap to it. So those things are happening. Freight, I'm sure KC, by being involved in the trucking business every day, it's just exploded and things are happening. There's a lot of stuff to do, so we're a very busy company right now.
That's good to hear, and I know that with the types of products you haul, it is very vital that these products move, and it's not often, Jeremy, that I get really excited when I talk to people about driver pay, but the first time I heard about your all's bonus program, I was like, this is the best thing I think I've ever heard.
Yeah.
It was like, so backstory, I've worked for a company that used to provide a similar incentive, but they would give 1 point for every hour you punched on the clock. And so I was working in a woodworking shop, and every time that I would work an 8-hour shift, I would get 8 points. At the end of 10 years, they tallied all those points, and they gave you $1 a point. And it was almost enough to make me quit college, because I was thinking, this is a program that will keep me incentivized to keep coming to work, punching that clock, because I know each time I work an hour, I'm getting an extra $1 right out of the chute. You're talking about an extra 10 cents, or is it $10?
No, so it's an extra 10 cent. It's an extra 10 cents
10
on all
cents
the loaded miles now.
on all the loaded miles.
Mm-hmm. So
that's just it's crazy to me.
It,
So
it
in
adds
effect,
up. It adds up. So I mean,
yes,
if a guy runs easy math 100,000 loaded miles his first year, he gets a $10,000 check. Everybody worries. Well, what's a catch, Jeremy? There is no catch. There is a catch. You got to be here to get it.
yeah.
You got to be working here to get it. Must be present to win. So, we do that because it's a longevity. We're built on that, KC, on longevity here at Oakley Trucking, and we want people to stay here, and we give them an incentive to. To us, it's simple. I mean, I think everybody wants something to look forward to. I mean, every year and getting a nice little bonus check. I talked to a guy this morning that had been with us 4 years on the phone just a little bit ago, and I was asking him about it, and he said, "Oh yeah, thank you for the raise." And I said, "You bet. Do you like that annual bonus?" He said, "Man, I love it. My anniversary's in May." He said, "I pay my taxes in April, and then it's like I get reimbursed in May with that bonus check." So he said, "I just love that thing." So that's been going really good, and that just started this May. So, not only the anniversary bonus bumped up, but also the mileage pay bumped up.
Well, I know that there are a lot of folks who may be really skittish these days, not knowing what the economy's doing, and that one pay incentive or that bonus incentive that you give I feel would be the straw that breaks the camel's back is the wrong way to say it. It would be the final incentivizer to say, you know what, maybe this is the time or the year that I get my new truck. Maybe I launch into an owner-operator position, because that program means that you're making a commitment to the driver, and all the driver has to do is say, you know what, I'm going to launch my career, my business, and Oakley is going to be who I partner with, because this is a beautiful incentive to do it.
We do a lot of first-time owner-operators at this company. I've said that before over all the years, but it's just a great company to be a first-time owner-operator. The two categories that we deal with the most are the first-time owner-operators, KC, and the guy that has his own authority. We lease on more of those than we do anybody, and I think because the similarities there is we take care of a whole lot of stuff for you. So on the first-time owner-operator, we make it simple because we have the trailer. We pay for the trailer. We do all the title work if you go buy a truck. We have dealerships we deal with all the time, and we make the transition of the paperwork simple, which can be a nightmare sometimes, and actually getting the truck and getting it here to Little Rock, getting insurance on it, that kind of stuff. We have, you have your own dispatcher. We take care of the freight. I mean, it's a simple transition from company driver to owner operator. I say simple. It's a nerve-wracking, but it's definitely, we make it simple.
Yeah.
And the guy with the own authority, time after time when we lease those guys on, I hear this constantly, man, I am so less stressed. I'm not stressed out anymore over this. I don't have to worry about where my loads are coming from. I don't have to worry about. I had one today. A guy I talked to today had his own authority. He said, my wife is tired of messing with all this stuff. What can y'all do all this for me? The fuel taxes, liability insurance, all that stuff. I said, man, we make it simple here, and that's the plan. Those are the two categories we seem to excel in: the first-time owner-operators and guys with their own authorities.
Well, we're running short on time for this segment, Jeremy, and when we get back from the break, I want to do two things. Number one, I want to talk more about region. I want to talk about where the need is for Oakley right now. I want to talk about the different products hauled and that type of information. Also, I am very interested, and I think that a lot of listeners would be interested to hear your stories about when a cop pulled you over and the excuse that they used, and then the excuse you try to use to get out of the ticket. Could you do that for me?
I can do it, man. Looking forward to it.
I'm sure that we're going to have a lot of good stories on that. If you guys want to get in, love to have you. 888-876-2336 is the number, 8888 Road Dog. Jeremy Kellett of Oakley Trucking is hanging out with you. And if you guys have some questions for him, make sure you get in and ask. I know that we talk a lot on this program about the American dream and owning your own truck and getting your own authority, starting your own business. And when you have a partner like Oakley, it does, like Jeremy says, it makes it easy for you. There is a lot of fear around getting out there and taking on those risks, but when you have a partner that's willing to walk you step by step through the process and then give you a great place to get loads and provide you a trailer, these hard things sometimes become much easier. So get in if you want to talk about it. 8888 Road Dog. That's going to do it for the first segment of the hour. I'm KC in Louisville, and we'll be back.
You're listening to Road Dog Trucking Radio's Road Dog Live with host KC Phillips.
We're back. Hey, welcome back into Road Dog Live, hanging out with Jeremy Kellett of Bruce Oakley Trucking. Jeremy, thanks for being with us. So I'm sure everybody's waiting for it. I know I am. The excuses police officers use for pulling you over, first up.
Well, so I don't get pulled over ever, but I did. I did one time. Okay, so I did one time. I had a pickup that I had bought, and this was about 5 years ago, and 5 or 6 years ago, and a buddy of mine just kept hounding me. He said, I bet that thing shuts off at 100. He said, does it shut off at 100? I said, man, I don't drive 100 ever. I do the speed limit. I mean, I'm a right lane man. I'd come to work the next day. He said, you get that truck? Did it shut off at 100? I mean, he just kept on and on. So I got up, it was early one morning, believe it or not. I was going to the gym first and on my way to work, and it was about 4:30 in the morning. And I got this little bypass that's on the outside of Valonia, Arkansas, where I live. And I thought, I pull out on this bypass, 4:30. All right, let's just get this over with because I don't want to hear from him again today when I get to work. So I just smash it on that truck, and I'm sure enough get up to 100, and it stops. It won't go past 100. I'm thinking, all right, I'm glad I got that over with. Look behind me, and way back there I see some blue lights. And I thought, man, is he getting me? Because he's way back there. Well, I was pretty convinced he was since I didn't see another vehicle on the road. And I pull over, and here he comes. And, I mean, I still got the temporary tag on the truck. And, well, no, actually I had my tag from my old truck on there. And he said, you can't. He said, you can't have that old tag on this truck. I said, no, I didn't know that. The dealer told me to put it on there. So that was my excuse on the tag. And he said, I clocked you at 91. I said, well, I was doing 100. But okay, if you
might want to get your equipment back.
I said I was doing 100, and I said the reason I did that, officer, I'd never speed, but my buddy has been giving me a hard time about this truck and whether it shut off or not at 100, and I just had to try it. So that's my story. I got a speeding ticket, paid it, and moved on.
So he did give you a ticket.
He did give me a ticket.
Oh man.
I know it.
Well, you did the crime. You got to do the crime.
I did it.
I guess,
You're
right?
You're right. So.
Do you remember what the ticket amount was?
$250. I'll never forget it.
Ooh, that hurts, man.
But little town cop. I paid it. Never showed up anywhere on anything. So they just got their money, donated to the town. I'm good to go.
That's right. And you remind me of one thing that happened to me. And I know that our speed limits on the Tennessee roadways are 70 miles an hour. What are they on interstate travel in Arkansas?
75.
They're 75. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, so what that does is that gives you a feeling that 75 on the interstate is a pretty common speed, and it's not out of the ordinary to be driving 75. Well, what happened was I had dropped down into Mississippi, and I was traveling at a speed I thought that was perfectly fine. And it didn't even feel like I was driving fast because we're so uh, accustomed and we're conditioned to drive 70 in Tennessee. Well, I was in a 55-mile-an-hour zone, and I saw a police officer coming towards me. I didn't even think twice about it. I'm going 70 in a 55, and just he passed by me, and all of a sudden blue lights came on, and he U-beat and he came after me. I'm like, well, what was I doing wrong? Well, I was 15 over, and I did not even think twice about it because I'm just used to driving 70 miles an hour.
Yep.
So
Yep.
I got a nice $165 ticket that day in Mississippi. Thank you very much.
Oh, man. What excuse did you give him?
I just told him that I'm from Tennessee. I'm accustomed to driving 70. I did not even know what the speed limit was, and that wasn't a good answer.
No, that's not going to fly.
You're in Mississippi now, boy. I think is what he said to me. It's like, I understand that I have crossed the border into Mississippi, and I was on the way to the casino, and I was going to go spend some money. You know what I did? I didn't spend a dime in that casino that night. I watched my buddies play.
Getting them back, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm not giving you my hard-earned money in the casino now, and you're going to get the tax revenue. I'll pay the man. It was interesting. They kept sending me notices in the mail, and I called them because they wanted me to come down for court appearance. And I said, listen, I'm in Nashville. I said, I'm pleading guilty. I'm going to pay the fine. And then they didn't even make me come down. And it was defensive driving. They were going to make me attend a defensive driving course in Mississippi. And I explained the situation. I said, oh, don't worry about the defensive driving. Just mail the ticket. Fine. I'm like, okay. Because it's not really about the defensive driving. Really, it's about getting their money.
Of course.
Yes, indeed. Anyway, let's get back into it. If you guys want to get in, we are talking with Jeremy Kellett about what's going on at Oakley Trucking. So I would be interested to hear a little bit about what has been going on with the freight. I know that general freight and a lot of industry sectors are on fire right now, Jeremy.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about the levels of freight you're seeing with the bulk business and the other products you haul?
It's unheard of, I think. Excuse me, Casey. It's unheard of right now. I mean, we just have not seen these levels of freight moving in the dry bulk industry probably since I've been here. It's just the demand is unreal. And, of course, with that comes the demand for truck drivers. And that is the biggest hurdle right now, which I'm sure you've heard from all companies, that it's hard to find good owner-operators, good truck drivers right now. It's just they're all busy. I'm sure they're all busy making money. And, it's hard to hire a busy man that's doing good. But the freight that we're moving is just unreal. I mean, we've got so many needs all over the country now. I mean, we've got a port in St. Louis that I've just hired a local guy out there. I'd like to have some more of that out of St. Louis area, Baton Rouge, New Orleans area. We got a terminal down there too in Reserve, Louisiana, that I need a few guys down there, and that's local stuff, home every night. So that's unusual for us to have, but we do. I mean, that's what's happening these days. We've got some of those. I've got a dedicated run out of Arkansas to Oklahoma that we can put a guy on every day and do it. So you need to call for details on that. Just the pneumatics, golly, the pneumatic freight, hauling that stuff that we do, whether it's plastic pellets or powder or, catalyst, all kinds of stuff on the dry bulk side. I mean, that is huge. I really could use some teams on the pneumatic side. That would help us tremendously doing that. So it's just everywhere. It's all over the place. And, we've seen it cycles. I mean, it's just cycles. When you've got a whole lot of freight, then it's hard to find good owner-operators because typically the guys we're looking for, KC, are top-tier truck drivers. I mean, very top-tier. We got some strict requirements. It's not easy to get on at Oakley. We look for the best, and with that, makes it a little more difficult for us to find the right person, and that's okay too. It's just going to take time. We just try to find them the best we can in all avenues, or are tough right now to try to find them. So, but I could use some guys in Tulsa, Oklahoma. You know, we have that terminal over there at Port 33.
Right.
Well, that's, you know, we got some local stuff we're wanting to try out of there. So that's what we're running into. I'm sure all your listeners understand it. The guy that stays out a month at a time, you know, even 2-3 weeks at a time, seems to be going away. Those guys are hard to find, and it's going more to this, you know, more pay and more home time. And that's what we're trying to do. We're definitely trying to do that the best we can. It's not easy because we still got freight that's got to be covered. We got loads going to, you know, California, Canada, Florida, Carolinas. Of course, we're out of Arkansas, if nobody knows, and we have a real big presence in Arkansas and the surrounding states, but also to the East Coast. You know, I've got dispatch. I figured out, KC, that is one of the downfalls of all of us being together. I have dispatch right on my shoulder now going, hey, we need some trucks. You know, we need some. They told us today we need some in Virginia, West Virginia. When we're just trying, as recruiting department, trying our best to get some leads and talk to some guys and find some good owner-operators. So that's what's happening.
And so with all of this need that you have for existing lanes, is there new business that Oakley is going after right now, or are you just in the trenches trying to fill all the needs for the customers that are existing?
Oh, no, it's a lot of both. A lot of new business, a lot of new customers that we hadn't heard from in a while, to be honest with you. I was talking to the operations yesterday and asking them pretty much the same question of where's all our freight coming from. And they said, man, we're hearing people are coming out of the woodworks. We're hearing from people that we hadn't heard from in years. Plus, you've got our regular customers that are requiring more and more loads a day to get stuff done. And it is a good time to be at Oakley Trucking because you're going to be a busy man and you're going to make a lot of money. I'm telling you, that's the way it is.
Well, that is awesome. Jeremy, sit tight. We're out of time for the segment. We will come right back to you. If you guys want to get in, you got some questions, 8888 Road Dog. When we get back, we're going to talk a little bit about how Oakley will help you guys get into a good position with the dealer and get you your first new truck. With the news we're hearing about the level of business they have, also I want to hear about expectations regarding how long this should last. And if you're on the fence as to whether you should even consider becoming an owner-operator and starting your own business, it may push you towards that decision a little bit easier. So get in with us if you got questions. 888-876-2336, 8888 Road Dog. I'm KC, hanging out in Louisville, Kentucky. Jeremy is in North Little Rock, Arkansas, and Mr. Andre is in Ocean Springs, Mississippi. I think we got you covered. We'll be back on SiriusXM's Road Dog Live.
Now, back to the conversation on Road Dog Trucking Radio's Road Dog Live with host KC Phillips.
We're back cruising through the second hour of Road Dog Live on this Wednesday out of route edition. Joining me is Jeremy Kellett of Oakley Trucking. If you guys want to find out more, visit them online. Can you throw out the website address, Jeremy, if you would?
I sure can. You can go to oakleytrucking.com. That is the web address. And if you even go to bruceoakley.com, it takes you to oakleytrucking.com. You just click on owner-operator. And also you can call a phone number, 877-651-1388, 877-651-1388. Call the recruiting department and talk to them. I really wish you guys would call them just so they know I'm up here working and I am on the radio. Call them up and bug them, the recruiters, because I got them standing by right now to take a phone call. And I'm going to get back. If I don't get any phone calls into the recruiting department, they're going to go back, well, you didn't do any good. We didn't get any phone calls, man. So I need everybody to call in.
Well, you know what? We had a hell of a fun time talking.
We did.
What do they expect?
That's exactly right, man. Hey, and also, you might be going to get into this in a minute, but also not only the website at bruceoakley.com or oakleytrucking.com, but we have a podcast, a weekly podcast that we do called the Oakley Podcast, Trucking, Business, and Family. And it is really, we've been doing it a year now, believe it or not, Casey, and it's been fantastic in helping us recruit. Every guy that comes to orientation now, I'll ask them if I don't even have to ask them. You know, as soon as I walk in, they go, "Hey, there's a movie star on a YouTube channel on Oakley, the Oakley podcast." And I'm like, "Okay, I guess so." But you know, they're listening to it, they're learning. They tell me, say, "Man, that's helped me so much learn about you guys before I even get over here, going through the recruiting process." So, Oakley podcast, look it up for sure.
Do you ever have any nerves around doing the podcast whenever you're sitting there in front of the camera?
You know, occasionally, I guess I do, but it doesn't seem like it very often. My partner, Hunter Lloyd, that helps me in the background, he's listening too, but he keeps me grounded pretty good on making it sound good, and he does the video of it and making it look good. But you know, it flows good, KC. I got some really good guests. I get guys in the office, you know, like yesterday or day before, we had operation managers in here talking about the details of freight and what's happening at Oakley Trucking right now. So, you know, we get into all kinds of different stuff on the podcast, whether it's interviewing drivers and them telling their testimony, their story about Oakley Trucking. We've got those. We've got little short tidbits of testimonials, and Hunter, the guy that helps me, he's putting them out every week, you know, a new one out. So it's really turned out to be a great little recruiting tool, but more than that, it's a great communication tool from in the office to our owner-operators. And we talk a little bit of safety. We talk dispatch. We just have all kinds of things on there. We've had tax shows. Anything to make our owner-operator successful, that's what we try to do.
There you go. And the reason I asked that, I brought my oldest daughter, who just graduated from college, up to Louisville today because she was interviewing for a position with a company. And so she was expressing to me that she was having some nerves, which is totally normal for a young person coming to one of their first big interviews to have those nerves. And I just asked her, I said, "Do you believe in what you are selling?" And she said, "What?" I said, "Do you believe in what you're selling?" She says, "Well, I'm not really selling anything." I said, "Yeah, well, you're selling yourself. And if you believe in yourself, then you should just trust that you are very marketable and you have a lot to offer." And so when I think about you and your podcast and the help that you are giving drivers and how you're explaining things, you're talking about the company, you're talking about freight, you're talking about industry issues that impact the owner-operators of your company, you're providing a pretty valuable service. And so you shouldn't ever have any nerves about doing that, because when you have nerves, you're making it more about yourself than you are making it about the service you're providing to the people who are viewing it. And so I really think it's cool that you guys are doing that and providing that service to your drivers. It's awesome. And anybody else that wants to view in. Yeah,
I appreciate it because I think you can tell, even when I'm on your show or I'm on the podcast, I'm passionate about this place. I've put 26 years of my life into this place, and we want it to be successful past me. So we're doing everything we can to make that happen.
Yeah, you're going to get that job in Hollywood.
Yeah, I know I am. Boy, that's you bet.
There you go. Tell me a little bit, Jeremy, about the typical truck note. We have talked in the past when you've come on about how you will put the first-time owner-operator in a good position with a local dealership. You have relationships. But do you know anything about the financing side? Because the reason I ask the question is this. When you talk about the boom in trucking these days, the freight that's just going bonkers, you have to wonder how long it's going to last. And if somebody is trying to decide if now is the right time, would the freight levels that are going on right now be enough to carry them through the typical truck note? Do you have some thoughts on that?
You bet. That's a great question, Casey, that I know a lot of people think about, and I've definitely got some input on that because we deal with some finance companies too. Not only the truck dealerships, but I mean, just to give you an example, we deal with a couple of dealerships. They can get guys approved. First of all, you know, if you've never bought a commercial truck, it's hard to get in one your first time because people say, well, you don't have any commercial history, you know, credit. Well, how am I supposed to get any? I mean, unless you sell me this truck and let me get started. Well, the good thing about these dealerships, they have relationships so good with these finance companies that they say, look, they're going to Oakley Trucking. And the finance company goes, oh, okay, now we're on to something. So that, believe it or not, that makes a difference where that finance company knows where you're going. If they've got a history of being a great company and they don't have any repos coming back from that company, makes a big deal. And with the way it is here at Oakley, somebody's buying a brand new truck every week. Every week, somebody is traded out of an older truck and have bought a brand new one, and they're in here on the yard and trading and getting the decals on and getting ready to go. It never fails. It's every week. And to be able to do that, and you talk to these guys, they're not nervous at all about making a truck payment. Now, me, if I was going to buy my first truck, I would be. Just going into something I was unknown, I didn't know about, I would get me a used truck that had a good warranty, if there is such a thing, but I felt confident that I could pay for it, even if things don't go well for me. And then that second truck I would upgrade to a new truck. Now, I tell people all the time, KC, getting that new truck, I mean, I've got confidence. You got to have confidence in yourself. I can supply all the things you need. I got all the freight you need. I got all the equipment you need. You've got to have confidence in yourself working and being able to produce every day, because I'm not going to be in that truck telling you to get up and get under the steering wheel and let's go. That's got to be a self-motivated individual. But you'd be surprised on people getting financed for trucks. That's why when we go back, the conversation we've had, we help guys. We try to hold their hand and say, look, man, here's some dealerships. You need to talk to these guys, because if they know you're coming to Oakley, trust me, you're going to get some help right there. That's going to help. If that
With
makes
regard
sense.
to the qualifications that a driver needs to bring, who are you looking for from a qualification standpoint? Is there a minimum amount of years in trucking? Obviously, accident-free and in good physical condition is a key. Tell folks a little bit about what that part of the process is.
So 5-year or newer tractor is what we're seeking. We do give a little bit. There's a little gray area on that depending on the guy's work history, driving record. We kind of put it all in a package there, and depends on what we get, but if it looks good. But a guy's work history's got to be good. You got to show a stable work history. Over the last, we say 10 years. We look at your last 10 years, and we don't call them all, but we just see, add up your history. Then your driving record, of course, is a no-brainer. You've got to have a good driving record, preferably clean. But, I mean, there's definitely – doing 100 in a 65 is not going to – like I was, I could not hire myself. So, but –
It's the Kellett test. You got to pass the Kellett test.
Yeah. So, you got to have a good driving record, good roadside inspections. We check those out to see if there's any kind of bad habits you got going on, and we look at that as a package. We get your references. We look at your truck. We ask for pictures of your truck so we can see what it looks like, because we're all about looking good. We got a reputation at Oakley Trucking as being a cut above everybody else, and we're proud of that reputation, and we're going to keep it like that. We require guys to be clean cut. Customer service and safety, I tell every group this, KC, but customer service and safety is what you got to buy into when you come to Oakley.
You're listening to Road Dog Trucking Radio's Road Dog Live with host K.C. Phillips.
We're back. Hey, welcome back to Road Dog Live. I'm KC, hanging out with you, and joined by Jeremy Kellett of Oakley Trucking. You guys can find out more at oakleytrucking.com, or you can call 877-651-1388. Again, 877-651-1388. Let's grab Earl in Missouri. Earl, you're live with Jeremy Kellett. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing great. How y'all doing today?
Good, man.
Doing good, Earl.
That's good. Hey, I got a question for you. You hire a lot of people out of Nebraska.
Well, not a lot,
right around
but we need
29
to.
corridor.
We need to. We've.
I've got, well, I got quite a bit of. I got 27 years over the road, almost 3 million safe,
Wow.
and I've got several years in pneumatic,
Yes.
and 4 years in dump.
Oh yeah, yeah, Earl, you right up our alley, man. You need to call. Yeah, you definitely need to call in there and talk to those guys today, as soon as you get off the phone with us, because I'd like to get your information and talk to you a little bit more about that area up there, and especially if you got some pneumatic experience. That's a big need for us, and that's a pretty good area for that too.
Right, you haul a lot of callus.
Yes,
I
sir.
used to haul a lot of callus up to South Dakota,
Yeah.
place I used to work for.
You
But,
stay out a couple
now,
weeks
do
at
you
a
still
time.
go to Canada?
Yes.
No, I'm home every night now.
Well,
But
with us living in Nebraska, you could be out a couple weeks at a time, and yeah, on the pneumatic side,
right.
you'll need a passport, because we'll run some Canada once in a while.
I mean, that might be that could be an issue.
Don't let that be a deal breaker, Earl.
Oh.
Come on.
No, that's not up to me. You know?
Jeremy
yeah.
got a salesman cap on all of a sudden.
Yeah, I can't help it, man. Yeah,
But yeah, I've always been interested in you guys. I've seen your trucks around and everything. I've seen the pneumatics, the end dumps, and the hopper bottoms. So
well, call that
Pretty familiar
877
with
number. Call that 877 number right now, 651-1388, and ask for Kent Childers, and make him stay after 5 o'clock today. And just carry on a long conversation with him.
all right, sounds good, sir.
Thanks, Earl.
Earl, you be
all right.
good. Appreciate your interest, my friend. Yeah, that's everybody is looking for a particular package, and a lot of it has to do with pay these days. I know that when you are looking at a lot of the different trucks on the road, everybody is advertising on trucks to, hey, you can get paid X amount. I saw today on the road a trailer that had a big orange sign on the back of it that said $2,500 a week guaranteed. I'm thinking, man, there's got to be a catch there.
Yeah.
So I think whenever I see those types of posters on the roadway, it makes me wonder, what is the catch? Can you talk to me about averages when it comes to, say, the median earning for a first-time owner-operator coming through the door at Oakley? What should they expect to make in their first year?
It all comes down to how that man wants to work, and I'm not saying that just because that's the way it always is, but it really boils down to how much he wants to work. So we have an opportunity here to make a lot of money. If you want to make $200,000 a year, you can do that. If we got guys that make well over that. If you just want to make 150, that's fine too, because we pay the guys the same, except for the annual bonus, the longevity bonus, and some of them are content with less money and home more, and other guys are more money and home less sometimes. So I will compare our pay to anybody out there, and I will actually show you pay stubs, and we'll drill down to the how many miles this guy ran this week or this month and how much money he made. And, KC, the key is, what do you got to pay for out of that? So if you net $3,000 in a week's time, which is very realistic, you should be doing that. If you're netting $3,000 a week, every week, you're going to make money. Well, what am I trying to say here? The net pay is where it's at, because you got the trailers paid for, your fuel's taken out, your insurance is taken out, bobtail, physical damage, OCAC, that stuff's paid. That's already taken out. So that money you got left over, you just got to pay for your truck, taxes, and home bills. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
A lot of guys get paid $3,000 a week. Then they got to pay for liability insurance, insurance on their car, fuel's got to come out of that. I mean, they got all kinds of expenses that come out of it, and that's the deal with us. I mean, to me, you run 2,500, 3,000 miles a week here at Oakley Trucking, you're going to make at least $2,500, $3,000 a week bring home after fuel put in your pocket, and that's not killing yourself to do it.
Sounds like a really phenomenal pay package, and I'm sure when you start talking in averages, you're going to have people on both ends of the spectrum, and so you could do a lot better than that. But averages are
it's
where
consistency.
We need to stay,
that's what I always hear our guys say. Is it's consistent. You know, if I want to make $3,500 a week after fuel, I can do it every week at Oakley. It's not a it's not I hit a home run of made $7,000 and then, guys just they hang on to that. I did that, that's at another company. I talked to a guy like that today. Well, I made $7,000. Well, when's the last time you made that? Well, it's been a long time. Well, I'm talking about every week, and then we can, what'd you make in a month? So how much did you bring home? Did you bring home $15,000-$20,000 a month? Well, no, I didn't. Well, you're going to at Oakley Trucking if you'll work. Work is the key. You have to work.
There you go. Let's get one more. Mark in California. Mark, you are live with Jeremy Kellett. What's up?
Wow, that was quick. Jeremy, Mark called for Southern Cal. We got owner-operator problems coming up here. How's that going to affect you guys on the Midwest there for you're looking for contract carriers? Are you going to be able to do this AB5 deal or, not able to hire contractors? Or you guys got an answer for that?
No, I wish I did, Mark. I was reading some stuff on that today and listening to a OIDA podcast, that Exit 24 deal earlier today. And, I just hope it doesn't get out of California and spread to everywhere, because I'm sure KC's probably had a show on it talking about it too. But it's going to change things if it ever goes into effect. And no, we do not. I mean, we don't have a plan right now.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to go. It looks like it's going to go nationwide with it being attached to that infrastructure bill right now. So it looks like it's a done deal. And with as many people as we have in the administration from the Golden State here, I'm worried myself. I've been doing this for 35 years, and I just wonder if you had an answer for it, and hopefully somebody will, But thanks for taking my call. Everybody have a great afternoon.
You bet, man. The last I heard on it, Mark, there was really not a shot of it passing the Senate. Now, they might have changed. That's been a couple weeks. I actually had OIDA, Mike Matusik, and Louis Pugh on my podcast a couple weeks ago, and we were talking about that. So you ought to go listen to that episode, Mark, and see what they've got to say about it. They help simplify it a little bit.
That's right. Yeah. Well, Jeremy, unfortunately, we're out of time, my friend. But great having you on. It's been wonderful catching up with you a little bit, and always great to hear about the good things going on at Oakley.
I appreciate you having me on, KC. Tell your wife I said hi, and Elizabeth said to tell you hi.
Oh, well, thank you so much. We'll have to try and get together in Nashville. You mentioned earlier mask-free office space. Nashville is starting to open up too, and so that means there's going to be some good times happening in the Music City.
You betcha. We're looking forward to coming and see you guys. Thank you a lot for letting me talk about Oakley.